In a dusty little town called Maplebridge, tucked between rolling hills and sun-bleached farmlands, lived a young man named Eliam Rowan, a poor but hopeful salesman. Eliam wasn't the kind of person people took seriously. He was thin as a broomstick, wore shoes that squeaked like frightened mice, and carried an old leather bag that looked older than time itself. But inside his chest beat a heart full of wild, impossible dreams. While other salesmen dreamed of selling enough to survive, Eliam dreamed of something absurd: building a business that would one day serve the entire world. People laughed. They always laughed. Yet Eliam kept dreaming anyway.
Every morning before dawn, Eliam walked from house to house, selling small items: soap, lantern oil, thread, combs, and little wooden toys carved by his uncle. For years, business was terrible. When he knocked, people often replied, "Eliam, we're buying nothing today. Come back next month. Dreams don't pay rent, boy." Still, Eliam kept knocking, smiling, and bowing politely. One day, an old widow named Mama Leary looked at him and said, "Child, why do you keep trying? Aren't you tired?" And Eliam replied with a soft but unshakable smile, "Mama, the world is too big for me to stay small." She shook her head, muttering, "Dreams again. Your mother raised you with too much courage." But secretly, she admired him.
Eliam's old bag began tearing apart. One windy afternoon, while crossing the old wooden bridge, the bag completely split open. Everything he owned tumbled into the river: soap, combs, toys, everything. He fell to his knees, staring at the rushing water, carrying his only livelihood away. For the first time in years, his smile faded. He whispered, "Maybe they were all right. Maybe I'm foolish." He walked home soaked in river water and disappointment. That night, he sat by a small candle, writing in his journal, the one place he kept his biggest dreams. A page read, "One day I'll create a place where people can buy anything without me knocking door to door." He tapped the page gently, thinking. But the candle flickered out, and so did his courage. 2 days later, Eliam visited his mother, Dara Rowan, a retired school teacher with silver hair and sharp eyes. She found him sitting quietly, staring at the ground. She placed warm tea in front of him. "Talk to me, my son." "Mother," he sighed, "I lost everything. My bag, my goods, my hope." Dara leaned close. "Hope does not live in bags, Eliam. It lives in minds." She took his chin gently. "If the world tells you your dream is impossible, that is how you know it is worth chasing." Then she told him a story from his childhood. When you were 5, you tried to plant a mango seed in winter. Everyone laughed, but you watered it every day, and the next spring it grew. Eliam chuckled weakly. "I remember." "Then remember this too," she said firmly. "If you want a billion-dollar dream, you must first have a billion-dollar heart." Those words rekindled something in him, something bright, something unstoppable.
With no goods to sell and no money to buy new ones, Eliam
took a job sweeping floors at Tarek's lantern shop. Tarek was a loud man with a thick beard and an even thicker attitude. "Eliam," he would shout, "move faster, dust never sleeps." Yet Tarek had a good heart. One evening, a young woman entered the shop. She looked lost, anxious. "I'm looking for medicine," she said. "My brother is sick." Tarek shook his head. "Wrong shop." But Eliam stepped forward. "I know who sells the herbs you need," he said gently. "I can walk you there." The woman smiled gratefully. Tarek watched from the doorway as Eliam guided her through the marketplace, speaking softly, helping her choose the right herbs, refusing any payment. Tarek muttered under his breath, "That boy has something." That night, as Eliam swept the shop, he noticed something unusual. People came into the lantern shop for lanterns, but they often needed something else too. One man needed nails, a mother needed notebooks, a farmer needed rope. "But they don't know where to find it," Eliam whispered. He stared at Tarek's shelves, then at his own empty journal. His heart began to beat fast. What if there was one place, just one, where anyone could find everything they needed? A store for the whole world, a market without walls, a dream bigger than any shop ever built. He grabbed his journal and wrote, "The great market of everything." The next morning, he ran through Maple Bridge shouting, "I have an idea, a big idea, a world-changing idea." People poked their heads out of windows. Old farmers shook their heads. Young boys laughed. A goat even bleated loudly as if mocking him too. He stood in the town square explaining, "A place where anyone can buy anything, goods delivered to your door, a marketplace that never closes." The butcher laughed. "You build that? Eliam, you can barely keep your shoes tied." The baker added, "You talk of dreams the size of mountains, but you're just one man." Eliam swallowed hard. Their words hurt, but something inside him whispered, "They laugh because they cannot see what you see." So he pressed on. He used Tarek's storage room as his first warehouse. He collected little products from villagers, lantern wicks, herbs, notebooks, tools, spices, toys. In exchange, he said, "If I sell your items, you get profit. If not, no loss." At first, no one trusted him, but Mama Leary, the old widow, smiled knowingly. "You still dreaming, boy?" "Yes, Mama." "Good. Take these hand-woven scarves." Soon, others joined in. Within weeks, he had shelves full of items. But he had a bigger problem. Nobody was buying.
Days passed, then weeks. Still no customers. Eliam sat alone on a wooden crate, head in his hands. "Maybe I'm not meant to be great," he whispered. "Maybe the world doesn't want what I offer." But then he remembered his mother's words. "If the world tells you your dream is impossible, that is how you know it is worth chasing." He took a deep breath. Then he grabbed a lantern, lit it, and hung it outside the shop. A sign underneath read, "The Great Market of Everything, open day and night." But still, no customers until one rainy evening, as thunder growled in the sky, a small girl entered. She was drenched, shivering, holding a broken umbrella. "What do you need, little one?" Iliam asked softly. "My mother is sick," she said. "We need warm soup, but our firewood is wet." Iliam rushed into the shelves. He gave her dry firewood, herbs, a soup mixture, and a lantern to guide her home, free of charge. When she reached the door, she turned and whispered, "You're the first person today who helped me without expecting anything." She ran home. Iliam watched her with a sudden warmth in his chest. He didn't know it yet, but that little girl was about to change his entire destiny.
The next morning, a crowd gathered outside Tariq's shop. "Are you the man who helped the little girl last night? She said you have everything anyone could need. I heard you sell tools. Someone told me you have herbs." Within an hour, the shop was full. People bought things he didn't even expect to sell. By sunset, every shelf was nearly empty. Mama Leary patted his cheek. "You see, boy, kindness is the best business strategy."
News spread. People started bringing more items to sell. Fishermen brought nets. Farmers brought grain. Mothers brought homemade crafts. Children brought carved toys. The humble storage room could no longer hold everything. So the townspeople helped him expand, brick by brick, plank by plank. They built a massive warehouse behind the lantern shop. Someone painted a sign, "Eliam's Great Market, where every dream has a place." Now people from other towns traveled to Maple Bridge just to buy from him. One day, a traveler said, "You should send your goods to our towns. People need what you sell." Eliam's eyes widened. Deliver to other towns? Deliver everywhere? Deliver to the whole world? He knew his dream was just beginning. Years passed. Eliam's market grew beyond imagination. From a broomstick-thin salesman, he became the founder of a vast, innovative marketplace that served people far and wide. He employed the poor, trained young dreamers, and gave everyone a place to build their future. But he never bragged. He never changed his simple lifestyle. He still swept his own floors sometimes. He still helped small children find what they needed. He still said, quote, "Kindness first, business second." One day, a young boy asked him, "Sir Eliam, how did a poor salesman become so successful?" Eliam knelt, smiled warmly, and answered, "Because I refuse to let the size of my pocket decide the size of my dream." Dreams start small. People laugh. Life tests you. But if you remain kind, brave, and persistent, the world eventually makes room for your dream. Thank you for listening to this inspiring story of hope and resilience. If this touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Moral Life for more emotional, motivational, and life lesson stories that uplift the soul.